We also have an election coming up in this country in terms of whether it's people have talked about there are some bills pending for deep fakes. There are some pending for some of these things. What do you think is the role of regulators or legislators in this?
Yeah, so I think that's an important question. And in fact, already last summer, I was talking to members on the Hill that are involved in these electoral rules, trying to figure out what should be done. And so I think the right questions are being asked, which are, how can AI be manipulating elections? The problem is that there are a couple of problems with this dilemma, which is, one is that there is often a tendency for policymakers to be fighting the last war. So we know what happened in 2016, 2020, and in a lot of ways, that's the best guide we have to this year. But that's not the only, that's probably not their playbook. By their, I mean some malicious actors. And so I think there can be a tendency to just kind of be stuck in the previous iteration of a technology and the associated threat. And so what I think is happening, or what I see happening, and I'm writing a book right now on these kinds of questions, which is, you have new technologies, they pose threats. How does the ecosystem respond and rein in and provide guardrails? And what I think often happens is the legislation cannot move as quickly as it needs to address these potential problems. And so what I'm seeing in the generative AI space when it comes to these concerns is that a lot of the big platforms, and I'm most familiar with ChatGPT and OpenAI, they have undertaken a number of steps to try to address this concern. So they released a set of policies on electoral fidelity in ways that are trying to address this. What's interesting when you talk to the AI firms is that no one wants to be what Facebook was in the 2016 election, which was to be caught blindsided. And I think there's a real sense that these generative AI platforms recognize and have learned from those lessons, and they're taking steps to avoid being in an analogous situation.